Hey everybody, welcome back to Knowledge Efficient, your source for all things educational. Today I wanted to go over Western Governors University and talk about some of the pros and cons with this online university. So, as a graduate myself, I've gone through this whole experience, and it's very unique for sure. And I've also gone to a brick and mortar school as well, a couple of them, and so I have compiled this list of things that I think are pros and things that I think are cons, and overall, we will ask, is it worth it? Is it worth it to do Western Governors University compared to a brick and mortar school? So if you like this type of stuff, please hit that subscribe button. I will be doing a lot of videos on Western Governors University, tips and tricks, things like that, and just all things knowledge efficient. So let's go right into it. Okay, so the pros and the cons that I have listed. So the pros I think is great, absolutely great about Western Governors University is the flexible schedule. It's also affordable. It's accredited. It is a career-focused. It has career-focused programs. It's got support services and transfer credits. All right, so the cons, it requires a lot of self-motivation, I discovered. There's limited social interaction. Not all programs are available compared to a brick-and-mortar school. And then also, this one's not as important, but I've heard a couple stories of employers' perceptions of the credibility of WGU. And then the last one is technical requirements. So let's go into the pros first. So to start off, the pros is the flexible schedule. So WG's model allows students to complete courses by demonstrating mastery of the subject matter, so not by spending a fixed amount of time in class. So this means that students can accelerate through material that they're already familiar with, and then they can spend more time on challenging topics. So I got a Master's of Business Administration for Healthcare Management, and I already have quite a bit of background when it comes to business in the healthcare field. And so for me, there were some pretty interesting subjects that I was not familiar with, and that I spent more time on, but there are others that I could test right out of. So it's very flexible in that way. And you can also do it in your own time. I would work on it after work, sometimes before work. And so, yeah, very flexible. The second one is affordability. So tuition's charged per term rather than per credit hour, which is huge, guys. It could be a cost-effective option for those who can complete multiple courses in a term. So pretty much it encourages students to progress quickly. So it potentially reduces your overall educational costs. Now, if you've been to the WGU website, or if you've been enrolled before, you can see they're very transparent with the cost of tuition. And it is, I would say, a very affordable and good deal, especially for a degree. And so if you can finish quicker, then you actually pay less. So that's one thing that's huge about it, is it's based off of time rather than credit hours. So for me, for the MBA for healthcare management, on the website it says that it's about a year program. Most people finish it within about a year. And all of my colleagues and other people, most of them also finish within a year. There were some of us, however, who were able to get it done in a single term. So about 6 months, and holy cow, that was crazy. But it is doable, and if you already know the material pretty well, it's very possible. So yeah, huge plus is it's affordable, because if you can get it done in 1 or 2 terms, that is a fraction of the cost of any other degree at any other brick or mortar university. If you guys know of any others, let me know in the comments section. Just, I don't know, for fun. So, okay, now the third one, third pro, for Western Governors University is that it is fully accredited. So WGU is accredited by the Northwest Commission of Colleges and Universities. It's a recognized accredited body. It ensures that the education provided meets high standards, pretty much. So if you guys are familiar with BYU, University of Washington, there's so many schools out there that use this same exact accreditation. So many, and it's interesting too, because there's also program specific accreditations. So like many of WGU's programs have additional accreditations from professional organizations, such as, for example, they do a lot of nursing. There's the Commission on Collegiate Nursing Education. Those are for nursing programs. And for business schools, it is accredited by the Council for Business Schools and Programs, the ACBSP, for business programs. And so it has those additional accreditations. When you go into the IT realm, it also has its own separate list of accreditations and certificates that you can get while you're doing an IT program there. So it is pretty awesome. All right. So for more pros, let's talk about how it is. They have career-focused programs. So WGU focuses on fields like IT, healthcare, business, and education, which are areas with strong job prospects. And you think about that, that is a huge, huge chunk of careers out there in the world today. IT is huge. Healthcare is huge. Business, everyone's got a business, or everyone's working for a business, and understanding the business models. And then, of course, education. So that is one thing that I really do like. It focuses on those fields. This alignment with industry, it helps ensure that graduates have relevant skills for each of those fields, if that makes sense. And the curriculum also is designed with input from industry experts to ensure that it's up to date and relevant. I found that especially useful for my MBA degree. So this collaboration helps students acquire skills that are in demand by employers. So, all right. The next one is the support services. Now, it's an online school, so there can be a lot of issues, and we're going to talk about that in the cons section. But what I do appreciate is they have a solid support service. And my first example of that are the program mentors. So each student is assigned a mentor who provides guidance and support throughout the entire program. So mentors can help with goal setting, tracking progress, and overcoming academic challenges. So my mentor, he was super awesome. Oh my goodness. He was like one of the most helpful guys around. He gave great advice. He was very well experienced. I think he also even had his JD as well, his JD and his MBA. But anyways, he called me every single week to check up on me, to see how I was doing with my classes, and to help answer any questions or concerns that I had. And so it was very helpful because I was also completing a lot of my courses at a sufficient speed. He was able to pull courses from future terms into my current term, and so that actually helped me a ton as well. So mentors are amazing. I wish that other schools would have a mentor that will call you every week to help you accountability wise. So other resources, there's academic resources for the support services. Like as a student at WGU, you have access to online libraries, tutoring services, career services, and a community of peers and faculty. I connected with a bunch of people on LinkedIn. There's Facebook groups out there as well that everyone can kind of help each other clarify or answer questions that other people might have, give advice and tips. So it's pretty awesome. Okay, and then the last one I have for pros are the transfer credits. So there's acceptance of prior credits. So WGU accepts these credits from other accredited institutions, and overall that actually reduces the time and cost to complete a degree. So it's particularly beneficial for students who have previously started but have not completed a degree. So additionally, you can also take courses from I believe it's called Sophia. It's an online program where you can take other classes as well and have those transferred directly to WGU. Now, I believe that is only for bachelor's programs. For my master's program, I don't believe they take transfer credits from Sophia. I don't think Sophia offered anything that was transferable from that. So, yeah. In some cases, professional experience and certifications can also be evaluated for credit, which just furthers accelerating degree completion. Okay, let's go into the cons. So there are a lot of pros, but I think especially for an online university, there are a lot of cons. So the first one is self-motivation. This type of curriculum, the setup and how the programs are, it's not for everybody. It's very self-paced. And so the self-paced nature of WGU's program requires students to be highly self-motivated and disciplined. So without that structure of traditional class schedules, it gets pretty easy to procrastinate or fall behind. And students need to be comfortable with independent study and have a good time management skills in order to stay on track. Otherwise, you can quickly fall behind. And so that is one thing that is helpful with a mentor calling you every week. But at the end of the day, it is up to you because there is nobody holding your hand through this whole thing. You have to have self-motivation. Okay, so the second one is limited social interaction. So pretty much, as an entirely online institution, WGU doesn't offer any of the campus life experiences of traditional universities. And so, you could lead to feeling isolated for some students. I didn't really feel that way, mainly because I had already been to a brick and mortar school. I already experienced college for what it was. And, for my master's program, I just wanted to crank it out. And even on top of that, I did have a decent amount of friends online in Facebook groups and things like that. But, I mean, it is still very limited compared to a brick and mortar school. And the other thing for those social interactions that's limiting are the networking opportunities. Because while there are online communities and forums, like I mentioned, the lack of face-to-face interaction can actually limit networking opportunities with peers and professionals. But what I would recommend, connect with everyone you can on LinkedIn and just continue to build up that network. Okay, so program availability is the next con. And I want to specify specifically. So, WGU specializes in certain fields. So that means that they may not offer programs in other areas such as like arts and humanities. So if you're looking for something within that realm, you may need to look elsewhere. Some niches or specialized degrees may not be available, limiting options for students with specific career goals. Kind of a small con. I mean, just go to a different university if you're looking for something very specific. But, the purpose of WGU, the goal is to get you a job, get you a career, and teach you things that are very applicable and relevant and important to some of the most popular careers in the United States. So, not a huge con, but it's still, nonetheless, it would be fun if they had a lot of other programs too. But anyways, number 4, employers' perception. So this is potentially employers' perceptions of an online degree. They might have some biases against it because despite WGU's accreditation, and I've heard a few stories about this, but some employers may still have biases against online degrees. It may take extra effort to explain the rigor and credibility of the program as well. So I had a friend and her employer was kind of giving her a hard time. And it's funny because, he was questioning the credibility of WGU, but he himself had graduated from University of Washington, which has the exact same credibility as WGU. And so she did mention that. It was kind of funny. While WGU is well regarded in many sectors, it may not have that same name recognition as traditional brick and mortar institutions. So, there's just that as well. But you do think about how many private institutions there are. So many colleges out there no one's ever heard of, but they're fully accredited. And at the end of the day, as long as you have your degree, most people won't care because you are experienced, you're knowledgeable, and you're able and capable to to perform well in your career. So that's what really matters. But, WGU helps you to have that degree, which is a checkbox requirement. All right. Now, the last section I experienced quite a bit are the technical requirements, aka technical difficulties, people. So, holy cow, students need a reliable internet connection and a suitable computer to participate in online courses. This wasn't really my big issue. Because students should be comfortable using online learning. And I was part of WGU kind of towards the end of COVID, so I was already used to online stuff. But what really bugged me, sometimes there were issues with the server and with logging into WGU. But especially proctored exams is the biggest technical issue that I have faced from WGU. I really don't like the way that they proctor exams. Many of the courses require online proctoring. It involves pretty much monitoring software they have to download, and sometimes, or actually most of the time, you have live proctors that are just sitting there watching you. I did have one proctor that it was weird. I don't know. They're hit or miss. I think that is definitely a huge place where WGU could improve. So, and on also privacy concerns, I kind of felt a little bit of privacy concerns from proctoring software. Some can see it as intrusive, like I did. It requires access to students' computer and surroundings. Kind of made me feel a little uncomfortable. Mainly because I'm showing, you have to show a government ID to these people you don't know. And they ask to look at your surroundings to make sure you're not cheating, which is understandable, but just the whole thing. If there's some sort of different way we could do proctoring exams, that would be great. So that's one of my cons. Maybe it's not a big deal for other people. So anyways, those are pros and those are cons. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm just going to kind of conclude. So going to WGU can be a highly advantageous option for those who are seeking the flexibility, affordability, career-oriented education, and it's particularly for non-traditional students and working adults. However, the self-paced nature requires significant self-discipline, and the lack of a traditional campus experience is not for everybody. If you are fresh out of high school, don't go to WGU. Go to a brick-and-mortar college. Go build connections in person. That's just my opinion, though. If you are a working adult, if you have a career, or if you have already graduated from brick and mortar and you want to enhance your experiences and credibility, then absolutely highly recommend it. So consider these pros and cons carefully to determine if WGU aligns with your educational goals and lifestyles. For me personally, it absolutely has, and I know for most people it has as well. So I am very satisfied with it. I think the pros absolutely outweigh the cons, and that if you are considering looking into WGU, you should continue to do so. You should talk to the mentors that are there that can help. You can go on Facebook and see what people have to say about it. It is an awesome university. I have learned so much about business in my master's program. And anyways, I give it a pretty high rating. Maybe I'll do a separate video of rating WGU overall, but I'm very satisfied with WGU. So thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you guys have learned something or if you found any of this helpful, please hit that subscribe button. I will be making more videos about Western Governors University and their new program they have. So stay tuned for that, for more tips and tricks and all that knowledge efficient. So thank you guys so much. Have a great day.